Hey, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, whatever time of day you're choosing to watch this. Thanks for being here. I'm Jacob Avillion. I am, of course, joined my good friend over here, Mr. Brayden McClellan.
Yes,
Brayden,
sir.
my good man, how are you? How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. Just
Great.
prepping the house for family to be coming for Christmas.
Wonderful.
So they come Thursday, so 2 more days from when we're recording.
Hell yeah. We're, of course, recording on a Tuesday. Today is the 19th. I have 2 days of work left before my winter break. I will be off from the 22nd up until January 2nd. January 2nd is when I go back to work. But got a nice window there to do whatever the hell I want to. So it's gonna be all right.
Sick.
Almost 2 weeks. I get 12 days off. I'm pretty sure. So I can live with it. Most definitely.
Dope. I think we could probably just start diving into the football talk if you want to go first with your Tetons, which we got to talk about something. We got some uniform talk we need to talk about.
No,
because somebody said something
no.
that I don't think.
Hang on, I didn't say so. You said
Run the tape back.
Run the tape back. You said they should get the uniforms if they beat us. I did not agree to that.
We gotta run the tape back. I thought you were the one who said that.
No. Yeah, I would have never agreed to that. That's ridiculous. Because no matter what, there are uniforms, whether they like it or not.
I feel like you said.
History.
I feel like you said if we lose to the Texans without C.J. Stroud, we don't deserve him.
Well, I mean, maybe I said we don't deserve him, but I certainly wouldn't want Houston to have him. What I did say was I want the University of Houston to be allowed to wear the throwbacks that they.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah,
where the NFL gave them a cease and desist afterwards, which I'm sure was probably influenced by the Titans. I'm sure maybe Miss Amy sent Roger Goodell an email like, "Hey, can you tell them to not do that?"
Yeah, because this is Tennessee's history.
Well, I firmly believe, again, if we're talking about the history belongs to the city. Okay, fantastic. Then let the University of Houston wear their Oilers inspired throwbacks. I'm there. Those went hard. Those were fucking beautiful. Let them wear them. But the Texans are a separate franchise. That would make zero sense for them to wear those uniforms.
It would not make zero. They're in Houston.
Zero. It doesn't matter.
That adds percentages. It does matter.
They are not the Oilers. We are the Oilers. They are not the Oilers. It doesn't
No,
matter.
you're the Titans.
We were the Oilers. It doesn't matter. They were never the Oilers.
You were. You moved. You changed names.
If the city of Houston wanted those jerseys so bad, they should have never ran Bob Adams out of town. That's just my 2 cents. Anywho, let me get to the actual football side of things here.
We don't need to talk about it for 2 straight weeks.
The Tennessee Titans fucking suck. This is not news. I've said this.
I would say breaking news.
Last week was fun. Last week against the Dolphins was fun. Levis had his big comeback. His leg almost died in this game. Thankfully, it's just a high ankle sprain. He didn't break or tear anything. Regardless, so he is expected to miss this game against the Seahawks this weekend, which is fine with me. In fact, I don't want him playing another game this year. I think he's done more than enough to at least tell you he's the guy next season. I don't want to risk his health anymore, because if he tears his ACL now, he's not going to be ready week 1 next year. And you're already derailing his second year because he's not going to be, even if he's healthy at some point, it's not like he's going to be at 100% until November or whatever. So
and you're not fighting for a playoff spot.
Please. So precisely. So, I mean, we just got eliminated after this game. We are now 0-4 in divisional games. There's nothing to play for here. In fact, I wouldn't even say let Tannehill rat it out. Can Malik Willis maybe increase his trade value? Either that or just be as awful as he has been, so that we can lose out, go 5-12, let Mike Vrabel get fired, and get us Joe Alt, because that would be pretty cool. I would like Joe Alt. I would like a new coaching staff as well. Tim Kelly. Okay, so I've been hot and cold on Tim Kelly. I have praised him when he has deserved it. I've criticized him when he has deserved it. What the fuck was that? What the fuck was running up the middle on 80% of your first downs when Levis was 8 of 9 passing in the first half for 99 yards? His one incompletion was just a misfire to Hopkins, and they've had communication and chemistry issues the last month or so. They haven't been on the same page. It's normal. It happens. Whatever. But Henry up the middle was not getting any yardage, and we just kept forcing the issue. This was a Todd Downing level performance from.
Did you see the stat? on King Henry.
Like first player ever to have was either 15 or 20 plus touches and like have less than 10 yards or some shit like that.
I think it was less than 20,
or whatever the number was. Yeah, first player ever to have as many touches as he did and record as little yards. That's not all Henry's fault, but I will say he does look old. And last week he looked old. This week he looked old. Like Henry,
probably should have traded him at the deadline.
I was a supporter of trading him at the deadline. I wanted to see Spears. Goddamn, I still want to see Spears. In fact, I said earlier today, I posted earlier today that I want to see Spears get a much bigger workload in these last 3 games because let's face it, it's time to look at life after Henry. He has slowed down. That's not an opinion. It's a fact. He is a slower football player than he used to be. He can't do anything at the line of scrimmage when he's hit at or behind the line. And he's been hit behind the line on 50% of his runs. And that number probably only grew against Houston because they showed that stat in the first quarter. So,
yikes.
Derrick Henry, on over half of his carries this year, has been hit behind the line of scrimmage. I thought at the very least this offensive line couldn't be worse than last year's. Not only is it worse, it's substantially worse. It is arguably worse.
You can never say something like that in football.
It's
this couldn't be worse.
You're right. It couldn't possibly because it can always be worse. Every time this comes out of somebody's mouth, it bites them in the ass. And this year it's my turn. Andre Dillard can't possibly be as bad as Dennis Daly. You're right. He's worse. He's worse because he can't run block. Dennis Daly was a league average run block, maybe a little below average, but he was a capable run blocker. Nobody we've had at left tackle this year is capable of run blocking. Jalen Duncan, who I knew he was bad. I was disappointed we even took him in the 6th round. I was like, please don't take Jalen Duncan. I knew we were going to do it because we really liked him in the pre-draft stuff, and even I was okay with it because he's an athlete. He's whatever. He's a projection pick. Like it's the 6th round. It's fine. It's just I never really had any hope he would, and he would turn into anything. And I mean, he's a rookie, he's a 6th rounder, so you're not expecting quality left tackle play from a rookie 6th rounder, but regardless, it's been bad. Radens has been bad. Andre Dillard has been bad. Like there's been, I know I've been on the keep Peter Skoronski at left guard team most of the season because I don't want to hurt his development at all. But I'm also not sure why you drafted a college left tackle and didn't let him fail at being a left tackle in the NFL before putting him at guard. Because obviously tackle's a more valuable position. So I'm not sure what the thought process was there. I'd have to ask Mike Vrabel. I don't have the facilities to do that. Quite frankly, I don't know that he'd even give me a good answer if I did, because he hasn't even given the team reporters a good answer in that regard. But yeah, it's a lost season as it has been for a while now. But now we are officially eliminated. There is no questions of any hope, any miracle. It's over. So yeah, it stinks. It's another rough year. This one even rougher than last. But at the very least, we have something to look forward to. And it's because we have something to look forward to that I don't want to see Will Levis take another snap this year. For the sake of the 2024 Tennessee Titans, I do not want to risk his health. We dodged a bullet. That leg injury looked like it could have been way worse. And it wasn't. And we should count our blessings and sit him. And give Spears more carries. Let's see Spears with a heavier workload heading into next season because we know he's going to be. He may not be a solo back. I do think we're either going to draft or sign somebody who, can give him a complementary skill set.
That's what the league is now. It's just
typically most
besides McCaffrey, it's all complementary.
Most teams are a committee. Even Tennessee is somewhat of a committee this year in terms of the snap count. Spears is a similar snap count to Henry.
Even the Dolphins who have Raheem Mostert with 20 touchdowns, they tried to work him in, he got hurt, and now they're working him back in with Achane.
Yeah.
So even the top backs, besides McCaffrey, it's all committees.
By the way, it's Raheem Mostert and Christian McCaffrey both have 20 touchdowns this year. The New York Jets have 13 offensive touchdowns this year. I just think that's a funny
I've seen
cute little thing. But
yeah, and it's not Zach Wilson's fault.
He's not the solution, but no, he's been better than the other quarterbacks they've trotted out this year. Honestly, even with Aaron Rodgers, this wouldn't have been a successful season. I don't believe because you can only do so much as Aaron Rodgers to overcome having Nathaniel Hackett, Todd Downing, and Keith Carter on your coaching staff. I think before the season started.
I think they would be. They'd be one of the teams.
They'd be like the 7th seed, maybe.
Yeah, I still think that they could have been a playoff team.
They could absolutely if they're
I looked through their record because like one of the main sports Instagram pages posted like their record and like what would this have been with Rodgers, and it showed the scores, and I could see a couple
there were definitely
flipping
some games where they could have easily,
because it's like could this Jets team with Rodgers beating the Chargers who they lost to? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The Patriots that they lost like one score to, would Rodgers flip that? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like, but yeah, I think fans have the Zach Wilson reputation has just been all over the place.
Yeah.
It started like it got real high because of all the draft stuff, and then it plummeted because of how he played, and then now everyone's wising up to the fact that the Jets suck. I don't know why people were like fighting against that, but the Jets themselves just suck. Terrible offensive line. Some of the coaching is bad, and now everyone's like, you know what? Zach has grown as a person in terms of his own maturity. We like him again, and everyone's pro Zach again.
I don't think I've ever been more torn on whether a team should clean house after a season than I am on the Jets. Because on the one hand, it's unfair because Rodgers missed the entire season. He played 4 snaps. Like, you will never know what this team was supposed to look like with Aaron Rodgers. But on the other hand, this is now year 3 for Saleh, and I think year 4 for Joe Douglas. And if not year 5, I don't know how many years he had with Gase. I think this is year 4 for Douglas. But and at some point, like you have to get the offensive coaching staff right, and they haven't. And it's year 3, and they have not hired. Like,
I mean,
if you're going to,
I'm in the opinion that Saleh deserves another year. I think, God, if Nathaniel Hackett hadn't been Aaron Rodgers' buddy when he won 2 MVPs, it'd be such an easy thing of getting rid of him. But I'll still say, get rid of him.
Yeah, I I certainly wouldn't be upset if Saleh and Joe Douglas, were there next season, because I think for the most part Joe Douglas is good at drafting players.
That's what's tough, because the roster, like you look around, it's like they have the number 1 they need. They have good running backs. The entire defense is great. It's like you just missed on one position group. But damn, that is a tough position group to be missing on.
And even then, like almost every GM in the league would have taken Zach Wilson second, or I would have taken Trey Lance, which would have been an equally bad decision, probably. But even if you took Justin Fields, it's not like you'd be in like much better of a position. So it doesn't matter really who you would have taken there. None of the other quarterbacks were going to be successful. Even Trevor Lawrence hasn't even been.
Dude, if only they didn't beat. Dude, if they didn't beat the Rams, I think was the game.
They beat somebody.
Man. The league would be so different. I think it was the Rams one that they won that cost them the number 1 pick in Trevor Lawrence.
It's not like Trevor's been lighting it on fire. Honestly, Trevor Lawrence has been up to,
for me.
For what
he would show enough to not be questioning him like Zach and Lance have. We would just be
correct.
It would just be all on the coaching. Like the coaching staff would have been gone by now because they would have.
I'm with you there, but at the same time, like looking at what Trevor Lawrence has been this season, I don't know what the barometer is necessarily on Lawrence overall, but I don't feel like he has been what he was supposed to be. When you throw around the word generational talent, I don't think what Lawrence has been. Yeah,
you see games of it, but you don't see it consistent.
Well, that's the problem. There's
multiple game stretches
in a game. You'll see a half, you'll see a quarter, you'll see a drive. Sometimes you'll see a complete game. But rarely does he string them together where he looks like, okay, he's that guy now, because he just isn't. And it's I don't think you should have questions about replacing him. But at some point,
the question is reevaluating your expectations of what he's going to do.
I think that's what recalibrating the expectations is exactly what it should be. It's no longer like you're no longer expecting him to be top 5. You're maybe he's just a borderline top 10 guy, like hovering around the 13th or 12th best quarterback in the NFL. Maybe.
That's kind of.
It's tough.
I'd have to list them out. That feels harsh, but you might not be wrong.
Look as a Titans fan, I don't necessarily want Jacksonville to have elite quarterback play, but as a football fan and as a guy who's always liked Trevor Lawrence, like I want Lawrence to be successful. I want him to be better than what he is. But it's tough. It's tough watching Trevor Lawrence play and trying to look for that, like, could this be a top 5 quarterback? I'm just not seeing it right now. And I wish I was. I really wish I was. We saw it last season. We saw what he could have been.
Don't worry,
saw
your division has guys who are capable of being that level.
Well, CJ Stroud's going to be dicking us down the next 20 years. Yeah, for sure. And Anthony
let AR get
Richardson,
healthy.
I was going to say, we've seen what the Eagles look like without Shane Steichen. Give Steichen and Richardson an offseason together.
Oh,
it's
my
over.
God.
It's over. And then, look, I'm just thankful. I'm thankful that Bobby Slowick is not going to be in Houston forever because that man can cook. In fact, I want him in Tennessee. If I'm being quite honest, I'm just going to get to that part here. In terms of firing Mike Vrabel, which I do want to happen, I don't know that it's going to happen. Is he making biscuits behind me? I think he might have been for a second. I do want Vrabel gone. In fact, I want the entire coaching staff gone at this point. I will maintain that Tim Kelly has been better than Todd Downing, at least marginally. But that's not exactly
no DUIs.
You're absolutely right. No DUIs for starters, but it's also not a very high bar to begin with. Shane Bowen is a Jim Schwartz merchant. The defense has.
Where'd Todd Downing go? Didn't he go to the Jets?
That's what I was telling you. Like the coaching, like even with Rodgers, the coaching staff is Nathaniel Hackett, an offensive coordinator, Todd Downing, the passing game coordinator, and Keith Carter, the offensive line coach. That was never going to be a great offense. Even with Aaron Rodgers, it was never going to be like some, incredible. Like this is never going to be a top 5 unit. It would have been a pretty sizable feat for them to have even been a top 10 unit with Aaron Rodgers all healthy all 17 games because the staff is just that awful. Which is what we talked about in our playoff predictions that I told you. Yeah. I said I don't like the Jets because this coaching staff is a nightmare on offense. At least I've always liked solid. I like the defense, but yeah, Todd Downing on the Jets. But Kelly has been marginally better. There has been at least an ounce of creativity at times. If Tim Kelly called every game like he was down 2 scores. I feel like he'd be a much better offensive coordinator, but he doesn't. Anytime this team gets a lead, it's run pass. It's the Todd Downing special, and it does not work. And we let Houston come back in the second half because of it. We were up 13-3 heading into halftime. We got the ball. Levis threw a pick, and I think they got a field goal that drive, and then we just let them keep coming back. And then we lost in overtime at home, our second home loss of the year. Against Case Keenum. Excuse me. But yeah, speaking of Houston, I want Bobby Slowick. I don't even know that he'll get a head coaching job this offseason because he's only been the offensive coordinator for a year in Houston. But he's done such a good job that it's like you have a rookie quarterback who was in MVP conversations prior to his concussion. And I don't want to take anything away from Stroud because he's the one out there throwing the football, but like Bobby Slowick's fucking awesome. And even just like he made it really easy for Case Keenum, and Tennessee needs an offense. Like you can't, like, as much as I love Mike McDonald, I would be really disappointed if we hired another defensive head coach this offseason. Like you need somebody who's going to call plays because you have a young quarterback who needs stability on offense because that's not something we've ever had is stability on offense because it's been Arthur Smith, it's been Matt LaFleur, Todd Downing, Tim Kelly. Like, hire a head coach who can call plays because this is not working. And, if you want Levis to succeed long term, especially in a division where you've got CJ Stroud, you've got Anthony Richardson, who's going to have Shane Steichen his whole career, you've got Trevor Lawrence, who maybe hasn't been as advertised, but he's certainly not a bad quarterback by any means. And he's certainly, it's not a lost cause in Jacksonville with Trevor. Like, he could get back to being what everybody thought he would be. So in this division with these quarterbacks, like you absolutely need somebody who can develop Will Levis. I think I've said my piece on Tennessee. I think I'm done.
Yeah. It's not I think overall this is a positive season for the Titans because I think you found a quarterback. And that's what matters most.
We found our quarterback. We have $100 million in cap space. We're going to have a top 10 draft pick. There's reason for optimism to at least expect more than 5 wins next year. Even if not a division win, probably not even a 7th seed, but at the very least, can we win 7-8 games next year? We're a long ways away from knowing what the roster's going to look like, but I mean, it's hard to mess up $100 million in cap space. Throw it to T. Higgins. I'll take T. Higgins.
But that's a tough ass division now.
It is. You're absolutely right.
Tough ass division, but
I like it though, honestly, because the AFC South has been looked at as which I mean, honestly, the AFC South has put multiple teams in the playoffs quite a few years over the last like 7 years or so. But like probably about 4 of those seasons we've seen 2.
It just takes 1 to 2 years of being like a terrible division for fans to shit on it.
But I mean, last year was the only year in like at least very recently that the AFC South has been that bad.
That's what I'm saying. It only takes 1, like 1 or 2, like for fans to be like this. Yeah. Like when the NFC East has sent the losing record team to the playoffs, it was like 1 bad year, and then the like next year or the year after that, we sent 3 to the playoffs. It doesn't take much.
I get it, but I mean, people were saying this was the worst division in the NFL. Or at least coming into the season, everybody. I mean, I'm pretty sure I even said this was the second worst division in the NFL besides the NFC South. Heading into this year.
And the only reason, because I don't know who got fooled, because I didn't. We both talked about this. People got fooled by the Saints. If you remember some of the crazy Saints takes going into the year.
God, dude, like, look, I'm not like down on Derek. I mean, I am now. Derek Carr's been stinky this year. Yeah. But I mean, coming into the year, I wasn't a Derek Carr hater by any means, but like.
He wasn't a savior.
Dennis Allen inspires like 1 seed confidence in some of these people. I know it's an easy schedule, but like, yeah, I'm glad you and I didn't get fooled by that. That was some ridiculous
I was like,
talk.
What the? I was like, 1 seed. What the fuck are you guys talking about?
At the very least, like people were talking about like, I don't know, man, easy schedule. Like this could be a real sleeper team in the NFC this year. No, Dennis Allen is not Sean Payton. All right, like it was never going to.
And we're seeing that.
We're seeing that.
The Broncos have flipped.
And Derek Carr is not Drew Brees, by the way. There's that.
No.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. Yeah. Absolutely ridiculous. But anyways, yeah. I like the long-term future of the AFC South is fun, very fun, because I feel pretty confidently, like, even without Bobby Slowick in the future, I think C.J. Stroud is going to be just fine. And D'Amico Ryans obviously is a fantastic head coach. Just in general, like, Ryans and Steichen were, like, the consensus 2 best coach candidates, and they both ended up in this division. That's going to be a fun rivalry for the next forever. I don't know, however long they plan on coaching. They're both young guys. So, I don't know, it could be the next 30 years if they want to. It's up to them. So, that's going to be a lot of fun. And then, of course, the quarterbacks, like you mentioned, like Richardson and Steichen is going to work. It's a matter of when and not if.
Well, it's a matter of health as well.
Yeah, but
which goes for everyone, but it feels like an added thing with Richardson already being
got banged up a little bit in college, got banged up, of course, but like banged up in most of his games.
Yeah,
last season, but like what you saw from Richardson,
he probably started and finished 1 game.
I think 2.
Genuinely,
I think 2.
2.
2. Yeah, 2 games that he played all 4 quarters in, I think.
Because you're remembering fantasy, you're like, that's when I was winning. So that is when
I was winning. I started the year 3-1, and honestly, the quarterback position might be what's done it for me this year, because I've had to trot out Will Levis every week for the last like forever. Because I think I drafted Richardson and Kenny Pickett, and because I in general in fantasy I never value quarterbacks probably as much as I should. I did put in a claim for Jake Browning, because we're at that point of the year where Jake Browning started. Like when he started playing, it was too late in the season for anybody to like everybody who was either in the playoffs already had their quarterback, and everybody who wasn't didn't give a shit. So I put in a claim for Jake Browning. Let's see if I can get Browning to start, because Levis is not playing this weekend.
When it comes to quarterbacks in fantasy, you have to commit either high in the draft or barely, or like at the very end.
I always do, like the bare minimum. But
yeah.
I agree with you. I agree.
And just rotate, like constantly. Don't be married to them staying on the roster. Rotate waiver wire, and just go off of who has the best matchup.
Well, and if you are going to take one high, you better not take your second one until like the second to last or last round. If you're going to take a quarterback in like round 3 or 4, you have no business taking another quarterback in like the 9th round or whatever. You can get like your RB3 in the 9th round. Go take your next quarterback like way further down. Because like you said, you're going to be rotating the waiver wire anyway, because there's going to be somebody who plays well that you didn't expect to. There's going to be some backup that comes in and puts up nice. Like you got to get a Tommy DeVito in there somewhere. You're going to get a Jake Browning in there somewhere. Like go, like just take one quarterback you're really confident in, and then don't even worry about the second one until like the tail end.
This applies for everything, but I'm going to be making a video talking about how I fared in fantasy this year. Mm-hmm. waiver wire is the key to my success in the leagues that I'm successful in. Like, you have to be on that shit.
It's like watching the stock market in real life.
It is.
It's basically what it is.
Yeah.
Puka
It's the
Nacua,
fucking Chad way.
Puka Nacua saved your legacy, right? You was a waiver wire pickup for you, wasn't he?
I talked about this.
Oh well, he was, and you traded him, then you got him back.
I got him back in a different league.
Oh, okay, never mind.
But I traded him for Alvin Kamara, who's been one of the best fantasy running backs. So it ended up working out.
Been a PPR machine.
It ended up working out, so I can be more confident about what I've done. And Puka cooled down a little bit.
So.
And Puka cooled down a little bit. Still, but it ended up being a fair trade.
Yeah, but I feel like the quarterback philosophy. You either take your first one super high or you don't invest in it at all until like you draft a sleeper in the 10th round or like I think I got Richardson in like round 8 or something, and I was like, I'm fine. With that because
like
had he been healthy, he would have finished way like.
I think Dak and Purdy are both like top 5 quarterbacks in fantasy, and they went later. Like Dak was more of like the middle round kind of quarterback pickup. Purdy was a later one. Mm-hmm. It's just risky. Taking quarterback that high.
Excuse me. Yeah, I know.
Because the production from it is more replaceable than like the receiver or running back you're going to get in that round.
Yeah, which is like I can't believe I got CMC at the 3rd pick.
I got him at like 5th or 6th in one league.
I know Justin Jefferson, I think, went 1st overall. I don't remember who went 2nd overall, but the fact that CMC was there at pick 3, dude, I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, but it's probably like Chase. I saw a lot of Chase going too.
Which is interesting, but I mean, it's not the worst thing in the world. But yeah, when especially somebody like CMC who provides that value as both a running and receiving threat, and also scores a touchdown every single week.
Dude, I almost took him with the 1 overall pick, but I was like, everyone's taking Jefferson, so it's just one of those things of like, if I take it and he doesn't work well, that's what everyone did. You don't get to feel as bad. Mm-hmm. But if you don't take it and he does work like everyone thinks, you're a fucking idiit.
Well,
but
like
I took him.
About, like if a GM had taken Zach Wilson over Trevor Lawrence, like they would have been shot.
Yeah. Or how we're talking about Caleb Williams right now.
I don't think the difference.
I'm seeing Drake May increasingly more.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think the difference in prospect for like Williams and May is as sizable.
But hold on, last thing for the fantasy because I mentioned Jefferson. Yeah. I took Jefferson 1 overall, 1 seed in that league still.
Yeah.
So.
You're doing all right.
I don't want to hear excuses from other number 1 overall pick havers. Wait, but Jefferson got hurt. I couldn't. Nah, draft better, build a better team, a full roster.
This is, I think, my worst year in fantasy because I think almost every other year I've played, I'm pretty sure I've made the playoffs at the very least. Like I've always been pretty good. I've won a championship before. This year, however, not my year in the slightest. I'd had a lot of injuries as well. It's not all. Some of it was I just missed on some guys, but also I've been injured to shit.
I mean, the league that I was in 3. I've only talked about 2 because that 3rd league very quickly. The league I had CMC in actually is the one that shit just got bad because I was Anthony Richardson my quarterback, Nick Chubb was my RB2. I took Calvin Ridley.
Yeah, I think that's another like how high I took Ridley. It was like around 3 or 4, and like that's easily my biggest draft bust of the season.
That's my biggest bust in terms of just like not including injury based ones. I think
Ridley is my biggest fantasy bust ever. Actually, if I had to be quite honest with you, I haven't been playing fantasy like forever, like 2017 or 2018.
Mine's Michael Thomas.
Oh well, you took him high 2 years in a row, didn't
you? Less high the second time I think, but yeah. Because it was my first year playing fantasy, and I took him because he was the one that you're supposed to take when I was picking, like that was the projected guy. Mm-hmm. So I took him. He doesn't play at all. I still finished 3rd in that league, like by the end of the season. Made playoffs still, finished 3rd. So okay, apparently the seasons I do best in are when my first round pick
doesn't succeed.
Doesn't it doesn't live up to what they were supposed to be.
Yeah,
because my fantasy endings I went finished 3rd, missed playoffs, finished 3rd last year. So we'll see what happens this year.
It's been a tough pill to swallow for the Wile E. Coyotes this season. Not our year. I should go back to Ferkser. I barely know her. That was when I was in my prime.
I think my number 1 seed team is I'm gonna Tucker, named after my kicker Justin Tucker.
Fantastic.
And then my other playoff team is Don't Jameer Any Closer.
Don't Jameer Any Closer.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I think. Team. Yeah, I'm gonna Tucker.
Go to Tucker.
The Cowboys. Let's bring it there.
This is the fourth bad loss of the season, right? Niners game, first Eagles game.
I don't even count the Eagles one as a bad loss. It's on the road. We lose as close as we do. That's not a bad loss to me.
Was that a close loss? How close was that loss?
It was like 24-22, and it came down to these fourth down.
Never mind. I don't remember what I was.
Yeah.
I could have sworn there was like 4 games you guys got shit on it this year. At least 3.
Because when I think of losses that like I struggled to like stomach, I don't even count the Arizona one because I came on here and I was like, every team has like a loss like this that's like just like a bad, you lose to like a team you really shouldn't, you just kind of throw it away. So I didn't really even take that one. It's now the Bills loss, the Niners loss. See, the Niners loss. That's it.
I would throw the Cardinals loss in there personally.
I know that's valid, but just for me, it's just not.
Well,
for me.
I wouldn't mind it as much if you didn't get blown out by San Francisco, and then especially Buffalo this late in the season. But like tallying the like total of like.
Yeah, I mean, full picture, it looks worse because it's obviously a part of something bigger.
Yeah.
But I still feel the same way about it.
But I'm thinking like in terms of like how Dallas
these road woes,
and how Dallas is going to perform in the postseason. You have now 3. I'm just going to say 3 ugly losses in some fashion or other. You have 3 ugly losses on the year. It's not impossible, but it's like at some point, that's something that at this point in the season, like this bad of a loss. I understand Buffalo's on a bit of a hot streak right now. But
not that type of loss, hot streak.
And so was Dallas as well. It's not like Dallas wasn't, putting some great games together. So at this point in the season, you should have momentum. You should have this fixed by now. Like this shouldn't be.
We had momentum.
This shouldn't be something that's capable of happening in week 15.
Yeah.
It's
what we do, baby. Yeah. It's what we do.
It's tough. It's tough.
But to me, I'm not going to talk about the actual game. What I'm going to talk about is there's a man on our roster that people are saying might be getting paid $60 million a year soon.
60?
60.
No.
Absolutely not. I was starting because, I've been on this pod earlier talking about Dak Prescott. And right before his real heater started, I said we should probably look to move off of him.
Yes, you did say that before he went on that tear.
And he went on the tear, and I wasn't sold because I think I still said, like, hey, he is playing his best, but I do need to see it in the playoffs. Mm-hmm. It's not looking good. It's not playoffs yet, so I'll wait a little longer. But Dak, this is not good. And you know what's funny? I've been warming up to Mike a little more. Not saying, if we lose in the playoffs like we did to the Niners the last 2 years, I probably still want him gone. But I'm opening up to the idea of having him back. Dak, 60 mil, because the offense, honestly, after the bye week, Mike has really started to win me over. Mm-hmm. I'm like, you know what? He is actually calling a really good offense. There's a play every now and then that I feel like every offensive play caller has where you're like,
nobody's calling a perfect game every week.
Yeah,
like no one's see a head scratcher from somebody.
Yeah, no one's throwing a no hitter out there.
I can't remember the last time I watched a football game and I was like, the play caller really just every single one of those plays.
Yeah.
No.
And Colin made this point, calling it Cowherd. He said like some of the problems. Some of the problems you have with like late game management from a coach can be kind of fixed if you have a great kicker. Because it's like going for it, not going for it. When you're that deep and like you're kicking a 60-yarder and you feel extremely confident that it's going in, it does help a bit, mask some things. Because instead of going away with 0 points, you're at least going away with 3. That's something. We've got the kicker. We found the kicker. So it masks a little bit.
Who's still perfect.
That is correct. Yeah. We have him. We have probably first team All Pro kicker.
Yeah.
I've listed the possible first team All Pros we have on this roster. I don't need to do it again.
Yeah.
But I'm warming up to Mike, and it's getting to a point where would I rather have next year Dak at $60 million and a new head coach, rolling the dice on a new head coach, or rookie quarterback? And I know there's some contract stuff that makes this. Somehow we make it work because we find a suitable partner that Dak would be willing to be traded to. Whatever. Somehow we make it work. Yeah. Mike McCarthy and like Michael Penix Jr.
I was gonna say, who was your
JJ McCarthy?
Who's your ideal quarterback for this?
For me, it's more of just taking a shot again. And less about like.
I'm not convinced JJ McCarthy isn't coming back to Michigan next year.
I don't know. I mean, I'm just. Yeah. You throw some stuff, or maybe depending on how who comes back and who doesn't, we play this year out with Dak, and then get a quarterback after that. But I supported him for so many years before this year, and the beginning of this year, that Niners loss, I was like, I'm done, and he started to win me over a bit back, but it's just like I don't have full faith in him, and in this league, to really compete it like that, you have to have a quarterback you have full faith in. And it's like, would I take? Because the odds of us downgrading at quarterback are much greater than the odds of us upgrading at quarterback.
Yeah. But
to really compete in this league, you need that upgrade. So I think it's probably time to start rolling the dice.
I think that's fair.
So. And because like I said, because I say all this and the next quarterback we get comes in, if he's terrible, people might say I was wrong. I won't feel wrong.
There's a cat on the bed. He's sleeping, you see?
Yeah, kind of.
He's adorable.
Yeah.
No, you're right. I mean, it is at some point like you see the same thing with mediocre head coaches, right? Like when the Bengals fired Marvin Lewis after like 15 years. There's a much bigger chance that you're going to hire, a Brandon Staley or a Joe Judge than it is that you're going to hire a Kyle Shanahan, right? But you're willing to take the risk because you don't want to be stuck with Marvin Lewis. And it's the same thing. Do you want to overpay Dak Prescott, or do you want to make an effort to get better at that position? There are some positions you can live with, a slightly above average player. You can win many Super Bowls with a slightly above average running back, especially if your offensive line is as good as what Dallas has.
Yep.
It's a lot harder to win with a slightly above average quarterback. San Francisco can do it, but that's because Kyle Shanahan's a wizard.
Yep. And that roster.
Yeah. The Ravens, when they won their first Super Bowl, did it because you don't need Trent Dilfer to be a superstar when your defense is that good. What I mean? So
allowing single digit points after single digit points.
Yeah. Dallas is a very good defense. It's not that Raven. It's not the 2000 Ravens or whatever it was.
It's 2000. That's the one that always gets talked about.
It's not that good.
But you throw in the turnovers. I'm still not saying it's that defense, but like,
little, but yeah.
But in terms of being able to compete for a Super Bowl, like,
for sure.
we've got that defense.
Sure, but I mean, clearly something. There's a
take the game over ability of Micah Parsons.
Yeah, but there's in terms of Dallas and being able to get over the hump. There's something. There's a hurdle in them. There's a hurdle here that has yet to be crossed. And oh, sorry, you go.
Good. No, you got it.
You're good. No, you're good.
I feel like my point might like sway us to somewhere else. So you want to finish yours?
That's fine. I think we've talked enough about this anyway.
Okay. Well, maybe it won't because this is a quick point, but of just like, I mean, you don't think Jerry's looking over at the Rangers just winning a world championship?
Could very much so be.
And in terms of Dallas sports fans, hey, I get it. It's a Cowboys town. Cowboys are already to be the number one team, but it's like, well, the Rangers just won. We have a top 3 player in the NBA we get to watch.
Yeah.
Fuck it. We can take some bad years of the Cowboys.
Yeah.
And the Stars are also really good. And the Wings are good.
I'd be willing to say Luka's top 2. Honestly, it might just be Giannis ahead of him.
I got Jokic 1.
Oh, okay. Hang on. I don't know why. Yeah, I get it's all Euro guys, but yeah, I think
it is all Europeans. And I don't know. I might still have Luka too, but
you got Luka ahead of Giannis.
I'm an offensive guy.
Now we're getting into a conversation.
We're getting the conversation of closing a game.
Speaking of basketball, by the way, did you guys know the season starts today? There has been no basketball played before today because today is the day Demetrius Jamel Morant makes his debut.
Your team definitely got a lot better with him coming back, but not.
We're not making the playoffs. No, it's just going to be a fun little way to end the season here with John Morant. It's been a rough 25 games.
But I'm just gonna put a nice bow.
What are we 9-16, or is it worse than that? I don't remember. It's bad.
I think
7-18 maybe.
It's been bad.
Or 6-19. It's bad.
We were the Mavs were one of your guys' wins though.
Let's go. Yeah. Jared,
let's see
Jared
here.
Better than Luka.
6-19.
Yeah, it is 6-19. Okay. Not good. Not good.
Mavs are 16-10.
I think we can put that Grizzlies are better without Ja talk to rest. Also,
the actual conversation is, are they better with Tyus Jones?
I was gonna say the actual conversation should be, why the fuck did you trade Tyus Jones? Are you stupid? Are you fucking stupid?
Yes.
Yes. The answer is yes. Oh my god, I can't believe. Did you see that? Also, did you see that video of Ja in the courtroom where she was like, "Punch me," and they had the camera, the way the camera, you heard 800 clicking sounds as soon as his arm went up,
it was extended.
Yeah, dude.
Nothing before that.
They had the damn tactical camera on site. I've never seen that before in my life.
Click, 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 click. Yeah. Silence. Click, 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 click. Silence.
No, I want you to actually do it. Click, 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 click. What?
Yeah.
I have never.
I need to see more of that courtroom stuff because there was also the show me how to pass a basketball.
Yeah. I can't believe he should have faced the other way and did the motion, because doing it in her direction, it just looks bad. And I know he obviously didn't mean it like that, but she shouldn't have asked him to even do it. She should have asked him to turn sideways.
Well, also to be fair, I haven't seen that photo. I've only seen the video that's exposing it. So
either way, you see the video and then you hear the clicks, you just know they're doing this shit on purpose, and it's ridiculous.
Well, of course, that's how it always is.
How it always is.
Negativity sells. So that's what they're gonna do.
That's how they're gonna frame it. But either way, that video was just hilarious. Every time I watch it, that shit's so fucking funny to me.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anyways, Grizzlies season starts in 1 hour. Actually, in fact, 58 minutes. Grizzlies season starts officially.
Just to put a bow on it, I think at the end of the Cowboys season, they're gonna have to. If they pay $60 million for Dak Prescott a year, I will probably take a hiatus from being a fan, and I mean that sincerely.
You should come over here into the Will Levis side of things. We're not.
You know exactly which team I would go to.
Oh yeah, Cincinnati. Yeah, no.
it's like the only team, the one player who could get me to buy a jersey that wasn't a Dallas sports team.
It's Joe Burrow, yeah.
Joe Burrow. And I'm looking at Cincy, and it's like, well, they're able to overcome adversity. They're still pushing through and fight. They have a playoffs. They be in the playoffs right now.
This is probably the highest I've ever been on Zach Taylor. Is the coaching job he's doing right now.
Go off, King.
This is. I think this is the first time I've really come around to Zach Taylor. I think
he made the Super Bowl. I was like, all right, fuck it.
I always put that more on the shoulders of the defense and Joe Burrow than I necessarily think. I've never been a big fan of his play calling offensively, but in terms of the coaching job that he's doing,
I mean, when you hear the players talk about it, it's like, all right, X's and O's isn't your strong suit. What it is just getting these guys to believe.
Yeah.
Which really, you wouldn't have expected. He doesn't have that face, but he's doing it.
Yeah. Well, especially you wouldn't have expected it his rookie season where they were fighting on the sideline in that one game. I think it was a primetime game where they were, I think a Monday night game, and they were some couple Bengals players were hitting each other. And you see that in a coach's rookie season, and you expect him to win over the locker room. And now we're in, I think, year 4, and that's exactly how it is. They're buying in completely, and they're winning games they're making a run without Joe Burrow. And really, they've been without him a couple times this year now, because he had the injury to start the season, and he didn't miss a game in that time. I don't think
it took a couple weeks for Joe Burrow to come back.
Yeah, but he was clearly not healthy.
That's what I mean. Those early games, that was not Joe Burrow. Right, that was fucking Joseph.
The Tennessee game, that was Jose Burrow. That was not Joe Burrow. So,
yeah.
But I don't know what was going on.
Do you want to just go ahead and make picks?
Fuck it.
Wrap up the football talk with some picks. So last week, I closed the gap a little bit. I won the week by 1.
However, I feel like my Panthers pick should be worth a lot more then like like some of those pick'em apps. Like,
no, my Seattle call out evens out.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, but some of those pick'em apps, like they do it like based on how the fuck, like what was it? Whatever. I don't remember what app we used in sophomore year of high school when we made picks. But it went based off of like the lines, and like you'd get more points if you predicted like a steeper upset. You know
really?
What I mean? Yeah, we whatever we used at that point, it was something like that.
Were me and you making picks together?
Yeah, like sophomore year of high school. I'm pretty sure.
I only remember making picks with Nate Dogg.
I was in that thing with you guys.
Oh really?
Yeah, I was in there. I remember being in there because I remember the app actually like it rewarded you for picking a bigger upset.
Huh.
Anyways, yeah. Let's get into this shit.
Okay.
Saints at Rams.
Dennis
Allen
versus
Rams. Sean McVay. I feel pretty good about this one.
Huge fantasy implications for me though here. I need Puka Nacua, Kyron Williams, and Alvin Kamara to all have big games.
Yeah. Yep. That should be doable.
Yeah, we should be good.
Bengals
we should be thriving.
Steelers. This might be Mike Tomlin's first losing season.
It probably. I think it has to be, and I'm going to go with the Bengals.
The offense is somehow worse without Matt Canada, which is hilarious.
Who would have thought?
Well,
I mean,
it's the offensive staff in general isn't very good, and neither is
Kenny Pickett got hurt. It's like, is Kenny Pickett swaying you over Mason Rudolph and Mitchell Trubisky? Probably.
I don't care who's honestly in this. Like, I don't feel any differently about Pittsburgh, whether it's Pickett, Trubisky, or Rudolph.
They need to play Trace McSorley.
All right.
I'm being dead serious.
Speaking of teams needing to play somebody, I'll get to something else here in a minute.
All right.
We make it. Bills at Chargers. God, I hope the Chargers win this game for every other 5-9 team.
Well,
I need them to start winning football.
Well, no, that's what the thing is. Aren't interim head coaches like undefeated their first week?
Oh fuck! You know what? Fuck it. We ball.
I feel like I have to ride that because I'm fairly certain that's the stat.
The odds are +11 for the Chargers. I don't know. Let's fuck it with Chargers.
Fuck it with Chargers. The Chargers would be the team to stop that stat from being true, though.
No, you're 100% right. I'm picking Buffalo. Fuck that. Yeah.
Is
Buffalo.
Keenan Allen playing?
Either way, I don't care who's playing. I need the Chargers to win. I need every 5-9 team to win this week, and I need Tennessee to lose.
I'm gonna ride the Bills then. I will. I might change that one later. If Keenan Allen comes cleared, I might switch. Just because, like I said, interim head coach is undefeated, I think, first week.
Yeah.
But Browns at Texans.
I'm assuming both CJ Stroud and Nico Collins are back. George Fant could likely be back. Houston's going to get a lot of players back in this game, and they still beat Tennessee with their JV team on the road. Give me Houston.
If CJ Stroud is cleared, I'll take Houston. I'd assume he is.
Concussions don't normally last more than a week.
Yeah. The question is Nico Collins because it's a calf, so I don't know when he's going to be back.
That's an interesting one. But I mean, even with like Noah Brown,
are they going to have Will Anderson?
That's I think he's also questionable because he missed the Tennessee game.
Yeah,
well.
That's what I'm saying. I'm looking at it. He's questionable too. I'll double check the injury report before that game goes live.
I'm taking Houston.
I'll take Houston for now because I'm assuming those guys play.
I'm okay with either of us changing, like because we always do like the injury stipulation. We'll see what Houston's roster is looking like. But
yeah, there's a lot of questions there. But Lions at Vikings.
I'm going Detroit. I mean, it's
I think I have to as well. I mean, good start from Nick Mullins, but not a good finish.
And I mean, I think overall, Kevin O'Connell's done a good job coaching this year. It's just tough to keep trying to win when you're getting such inconsistent play at the quarterback position because it's tough to bring in a backup who's going to give you week to week like good quarterback.
I think they need to go. I think this is another team I would like to see go get a young guy in the draft.
Yeah. I'm with you. I mean, especially I think Kirk Cousins' contract is up this season as well.
I think he's gonna be free agent.
Yeah. So either even if you bring him back on like a short term deal, like go ahead and draft somebody. Go get like Jaden Daniels or some shit. I don't know.
I'd have a hard time seeing Kirk agree to that.
Oh, like I don't think he'd want a 1-year deal. He'd want like a 3-year deal,
fully guaranteed.
Yeah, like 3 years.
The king of that shit.
3 years, $115 million or some bullshit. Like
Yeah, with all the guarantee money he's gotten, Kirk is a Hall of Fame bag getter.
Hey, honestly, he deserves it. I'm at that point where I feel like Kirk has played good enough football these last few years where I'm like, I feel a little better about him. Like I used to lump him in the same tier of like Tannehill and like Goff and whatnot. I think he's a step above that. Well, what Tannehill was a couple of years ago, not what he was this year, obviously. But even what Jared Goff, like if you put Kirk Cousins in Detroit, I think they're probably 11-3 instead of 10-4. You know, like I
probably
healthy. Like I think
you're probably right.
He doesn't. I mean, he does occasionally give you a bad game, but even then, like consistency wise, like he's better than Goff. I feel, and he was looking really good in Minnesota prior to his injury.
Yeah, it was looking great, at least in terms of they weren't winning because they were fumbling every other play, but I mean, his numbers were great.
The way they were able to rally after his injury, I feel like had he stayed healthy, Minnesota would probably be a little better right now than 7-6. Maybe 8.
That's kind of tough.
8-6. Maybe 8-6.
8-6, I could see, but that's about as far as I could see. But the Packers at Panthers.
There's no way the Panthers win 2 games in a row, right? Like it's
because the Packers have been up and down.
Yeah.
Also, I think they play better.
With the Packers, I've never liked Joe Barry, but at this point he needs to go. Honestly, Matt LaFleur needs to go, but if he's not, at the very least, he needs to fire Joe Barry because Joe Barry is a terrible defensive coordinator, and I am tired of watching.
Oh my god, dude! Ty Schmidt on the Pat McAfee show, Packers fan.
Yeah.
Great rant on
Joe Barry.
On Joe Barry, yeah.
Fantastic.
I mean, not even like a long one, but just a couple lines or two that I was like, that was funny. That really hit. But
I've watched, what do you call it? Like, I watch a lot of like that franchise guys content because he does a lot of like homework for the draft and whatnot. So I'll like, and he, every chance he gets, he shits in Joe Barry's mouth. Like, even prior to this season, like he was calling for his job at the end of last season.
Oh, yeah.
And
that's one of the things Ty Schmidt said. He's like, I have no idea why this guy was able to come back this year.
Yeah. But there's just no way. Speaking of defensive coordinators that need to be fired, Colts at Falcons. Gus Bradley is a terrorist. If Anthony Richardson was healthy all year and Gus Bradley was not the defensive coordinator, the Colts would have at least 10 wins right now. I firmly believe that. But also, the Colts have had some bullshit go for and against them all year long. It's been really weird. Like if you've watched Colts games, been some crazy.
I feel like that's
crazy fit. No, like it's extreme with the Colts because you have the no call pass interference in overtime against the Ravens. You have 2 blocked punts and a missed PAT against Tennessee that takes the game to overtime. You have the Browns game, which the Colts absolutely should have won. But Indianapolis, in terms of like just wacky, crazy shit for both way. I mean, really, it's not indicative of their record at all. They'd have the same record if those games were normal. But it's just funny if you watch like.
I'm predicting a big Bijan Robinson game because he goes back and forth. Arthur Smith is like remembers how to use them, then forgets how to use them. Yeah. He forgot how to use them last week, so I think he's gonna have a good game this week. But I'm still gonna go with the Colts.
Okay, I'm going with the Colts as well. Seahawks at Titans. We don't need to spend any time on this one. Seattle's winning this game.
Correct.
Jets at Commanders at Jets. Who cares?
I don't. Give me Commanders.
I was like, give me I think it'd be fun. I don't know, it'd be fun to see them get this win. Yeah.
Okay, Jags at Bucks. Give me the Jags.
I'm gonna do it. What are you doing? I'm gonna do it.
What are you doing?
Tampa owns Florida. This is my city. All right, repping my city. Okay, give me the Bucks.
All right.
It'd be hilarious if the Jags mirrored like what Tennessee did last year, where they just have this incredible late season collapse. That'd be really fucking funny. I don't know.
You mean what the Eagles are doing this season? Oh, 3 straight games.
I was gonna bring something up earlier about like I've never been like a huge Nick Sirianni or Jalen Hurts guy. I was probably a bit lower on both of them than consensus coming into this year.
Same.
That is, especially you're a Cowboys fan, so it's kind of like required by law for you to be lower on your, But
opponents. I mean, I love Jalen Hurts as a person.
Oh, he's an awesome guy, but as a quarterback, no. I mean, he's
not what people have been saying.
He's not bad, but he's not a superstar. I mean, it's this idea that he was the MVP frontrunner up until like week 12 was hilarious.
I hate this MVP race this year.
Oh, it's awful. It's the worst.
And we've talked about it. What makes it bad is that it's going to go to a quarterback when it shouldn't this year.
No, Christian McCaffrey should be leading.
The race should be McCaffrey and Tyreek. I know
Tyreek's been injured. He got hurt against Tennessee. He missed this last game against the Jets. Like, Christian McCaffrey should literally be running away with it right now, and he's not, and it's bullshit. Because
he needs how many games are left?
3.
He needs like 3 touchdowns in each game.
That's what I'm to break LaDainian
for them to consider it.
Record. Yeah, but for him to get 29 touchdowns. And honestly, I hope Kyle Shanahan force feeds him like schemes up get him those touchdowns.
Brock Purdy said CMC should be MVP.
Yeah, I think Purdy's probably the current MVP frontrunner again after the Cowboys loss, the disastrous loss to the Bills. I feel like Purdy's probably in the leading odds again. It should be CMC by a country mile.
For me, it goes CMC. It's still the same for me, honestly. It's probably CMC, Tyreek, and then like if I had to be a quarterback, I'd give it to Lamar. Which,
if the Bills keep winning, Josh Allen's playing his way into that conversation.
He's playing his way into it, but it's just like some of the turnover stuff cost them, like specifically cost them games. Give me Lamar.
It's a lot of I mean, I'm still with you. Like if it's gonna go to a quarterback right this moment, I would give it to Lamar. But unfortunately, he's just the box score stats aren't up there with MVP, which just sucks because it's if you actually watch the Ravens games, like Lamar's putting up a masterclass almost every week. But
yeah, it's
just not showing.
Anyways,
up. Yeah, Cardinals at Bears.
Bears. Kyler Murray, Trey McBride.
Yeah, you know what? I feel like they could.
This Cardinals team is better now with Kyler back.
I'm cheering for a Bears win though because I think the Titans have the highest, or I guess technically the lowest draft pick out of all the 5 and 9 teams. Like we're seeded the highest in the tiebreaker, so I need every single one of them to win as much as possible. Give me a Bears win this week, and the Titans loss this week would be fantastic. Cowboys at Dolphins, 2 teams that struggle against superior competition. This is an interesting. It's Dallas on the road though, which is.
I want to have a good Christmas. Give me the Cowboys.
I want you to have a good Christmas. Give me the Cowboys. I'm changing my pick for the last one. I think the Bears win because I want to root for the Bears to win in all facets. So I'm thinking Chicago.
Oh, okay. Patriots, Broncos.
Start Nathan Rourke. Please. It'd be fun. It'd be very fun to start Nathan Rourke. But with that being said, Denver wins this game.
The Broncos. Yeah. Broncos. The 63-point Raiders versus Kansas City Chiefs.
Give me Kansas City, but I mean, it's a sneaky one.
It's tough.
Kansas City -10 feels like I should slam.
I would take them. I would take the Raiders to cover.
Oh my goodness.
I
want to hammer that shit.
God, who did the Chiefs play last week?
New England.
Oh, okay. It was closer than it should have been.
Yeah, I think, or at least it started out that way.
It was a 10-point game. The spread was like 10.5, so I think the Patriots covered.
Good shit.
So it was closer than it should have been.
It's close.
But I guess it was technically almost exactly what it should have been. But
it's impossible to have a 10.5-point game. So,
but they still didn't look. But the Chiefs still didn't look good.
Well, it's the Patriots. I mean, yeah, you should beat them by like 20 if you expect to be a Super Bowl contender. You didn't. So. Yeah, no, the Chiefs are not
if this was in Vegas, I would take the Raiders, but I'll stick with the Chiefs in Arrowhead.
Yeah.
Giants at Eagles. I need the Giants to win one of them. I won't pick it to be this one, but I'll pick
to win as many games as possible for the Titans draft positioning. So I think Philly's going to win this game, but like it'd be fucking hilarious if the Giants won this.
I'm going to pick the Eagles. I'll tell you right now, next time they play, when it's in New York, I will be picking the Giants just out of pure hope. Because as much as I've down on the Cowboys, I still want them to win. Yeah. So I'm still going to be rooting for things that are in their best interest, including this next game. And I already predicted this game earlier, so I'm just going to stick with it. I got the Ravens.
I think I've been saying Baltimore's going to win this game. I'm not sure I feel that way right now.
This is just my what aligns with my fandom the most.
I do think these are the 2 best teams in the NFL.
Completely agree. What a beautiful treat to finally be getting Monday.
Well, we're getting this on Christmas evening, we're getting a Super Bowl rematch from from a while ago, but it's
The Harbaugh
still, it's fun.
Bowl.
It's fun to think about.
They should turn the lights off midway through just for a little throwback.
Just to have some fun.
Yeah.
It can be San Francisco, but I don't even care who wins this game. I'm just gonna be watching with popcorn and my jaw open the whole time because
it
is.
Be a lot of fun. It's very likely that I'll be watching this game because this will probably determine my fantasy season because I have Lamar at quarterback. So it being the Monday game is very likely I'm going to be like, I come on, get 23 points. I win, please.
This reminds me of, the Rashard Mendenhall tweet where he was like, we need a white versus black bowl. And somebody was like, bro, we already got Ravens at 49ers.
I was like, just give it a week.
Yo, we already got it coming. This is, I mean, how many great white guys the 49ers? Like Christian McCaffrey, the coldest white boy in the league.
McCaffrey, Purdy, Kittle, Bosa. Juszczyk.
Yeah.
That's off the top of my head.
Yeah.
But
we got
the ball control that the white team would do in that game would be kind of crazy because we would play hella tight ends, which would allow for some creative runs.
Yeah.
And we would just kill clock with Christian McCaffrey.
What do you call it? White boys, we may not have the best wide receivers in the game, but you could flex Laporta outside. He's got the athleticism for it. You know what I mean?
Laporta.
You could even flex Kelsey in the slot. I'd play Kelsey in the slot.
Dude, yeah, there's plenty of athletic tight. The thing is, it's like whoever we trotted out at corner for the white team would do terribly, but at the same time, also I don't think the black corners would do good because they'd be at mismatches with these tight ends.
Hang on, I need to hang on. I feel like mixed guys would be allowed to choose, right? If you're,
I feel like they have to be their own team because this obviously is not my experience, but every time I hear somebody biracial talk about their experience, they feel excluded from both, so they might go play for their own.
But I mean, every time you see what do you call it, Jalen Hurts versus Patrick Mahomes is the first matchup between two black quarterbacks, and neither of them are 100% black. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was Mahomes has a white mom. And
what does Hurts have?
I don't know Hurts' background. I just know Mahomes is black dad, white mom. Couldn't Mahomes be the white guy quarterback if he wanted to?
The joke is that he's switching teams at halftime.
Yeah. Well, I feel like you could. So for the corners, there's plenty of mixed corners that are really good. You know what I mean?
We'd have to recruit.
Let the white guys have a couple of those. You know what I mean? Let's have two. Let's have.
We would recruit. We would just recruit. We would offer them playing time. Honestly, that's what it would come down to.
We'll let Riley Moss be CB3, and then we'll have Harrison Smith at strong safety and Reed Blankenship at free safety. We're still gonna be burnt toast in the secondary.
The safeties are good.
I mean, they're fine. Harrison Smith is 40, and Reed Blankenship's not amazing, but
that's why he's playing strong safety, and the Hitman is still living up to the Hitman name.
Yeah, he still hits like a truck.
But the thing is, I mentioned this before. Unleashing Nick Bosa on a all-black team, they're not having time to throw.
Hang on. You're telling me you're picking Baltimore when Nick Bosa is looking at this all-melanin QB room and just foaming at the mouth?
Black power overcomes all.
Okay, fair enough. But I mean, if he's there's 4 guys in that QB room, and they are all like this color. You know what I mean? Nick Bosa is salivating looking at this shit, man. That's all I'm saying. That's why I got San Francisco winning on Christmas Day. But
for the Jim Crow Bowl, I would kick Bosa. I would kick Bosa in on the inside and have him rush up the middle with Watt and Crosby on the edges to clear up what scared quarterback is running away from that racist madman.
What white guy interior defensive lineman do we got for the Bowl?
I know we have him.
Austin Sealer. Or Zach Sealer, excuse me.
Brzee in the draft this last year.
Brzee.
He plays interior.
He's had some splash plays. Yeah, he's been fun. But I mean, we're not coming close to Chris Jones and Sexy Dexy and Jalen Carter and Aaron Donald and Jeff Simmons and Quinnen Williams and
No, but with Jason Kelsey and Zach Martin on the inside.
Peter Skoronski at left guard, maybe. Just kidding.
Do you feel comfortable?
He probably had his worst game of his career. I watched him just get completely bull rushed on one of those Levis sacks. He just got absolutely manhandled. It was probably the worst rep of Skoronski's career. It was bad. It was he just got mauled. You just hate to see it.
Do you want to do top 3 or do you want to do the surprise combo?
Let's do the surprise combo first because we usually do top 3 than what we're on. So I feel like let's flex with this surprise. The surprise you were telling me about earlier. I haven't been. I'm as surprised as the audience is going to be.
So at the broad topic, premise, Pokemon.
But I don't know anything else about what we're
doing here. This is almost just to promote
tomorrow's lives. Well, I guess today's live stream for those
our Nuzlocke.
The day it comes out.
But type triangles.
Type triangles.
That's what this conversation is going to be about. I know you're familiar with them, I'd assume.
Well, you mean like fire, water, grass?
Yeah.
Like that sort of thing. Yeah. Okay, and then like dark psychic bug. Or wait, no, I lied. Dark psychic.
Dark
fighting,
psychic.
Excuse me.
Fighting.
Because bug fucks up both of them. I forgot.
Yeah, but what I wanted to talk about was what you would want to see if they ever deviated from fire, water, grass. In my mind, they would do it for like a Legends game.
Yeah.
If they were to ever.
Or like a ROM hack, you'd see it.
Yeah, just something like that. But what you would want to see, because there's.
Do you have a list of type triangles pulled up?
Yes, I got them all right here.
Wonderful.
There's 4 perfect type triangles, and then 10 or so imperfect ones.
Yeah, because like psychic, the dark's immune to psychic, so it's not perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but to me, I don't actually care too much if they're imperfect because I'm going to be using a different Pokemon to fight.
Right. Like I'm not fucking up the other starters.
Especially because the types matter for those type of fights later when the typings and moves actually come into play.
Yeah.
So it's not too big of a deal for me if they're imperfect, but yeah. I think I would love to see this for a Legends game.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
But
I agree actually, or just any kind of deviation from the norm.
Yeah. Do you want to hear the 4 perfect ones first?
Yeah, hit me with them.
Okay, so obviously one of the 4 is fire, grass, water.
Yeah.
Then we have 2 of these other ones still have one of those types within it, and then one has just 3 unique ones. I'm going to say the ones that have stuff in it first.
Okay, that's fine.
So we have ground, poison, grass.
Interesting. Okay.
That's a perfect one.
Mm-hmm.
And then this one, I feel like this next one could play into the story better because I think they kind of accent each other a little better.
Mm-hmm.
Fire, steel, rock.
Oh.
Because I saw the idea flown out. I got this whole idea from Shepsky Dad on YouTube. I saw a video talking about type triangles, and that was something they had thrown up. But if you had either a mountain range themed game or a industrial type of environment,
or like a what if Groudon won?
What if Groudon? That's actually pretty funny.
Yeah,
that is pretty funny. That would work too. And then the other perfect triangle in the game that does not have any of the main 3 is a fighting, rock, flying trio. But yeah,
those are all the perfect ones.
Those are all the perfect ones.
I doubt we're ever going to get a deviation from the norm in a mainline Pokemon game, but like you said,
in a mainline, no.
Like a Legends game or even a ROM hack, I'm sure somebody there's probably ROM hacks that already have this in there.
Yes. Do you know what I would want to see in a game though that I think is more on the table?
What's that?
You have the main 3, but then you take the other typing. I guess it would be the fighting, rock, flying one, and inverse it. For like the final stages typing. Okay. And I know it evens out the starters, so some people wouldn't like that, but I find it interesting.
I was gonna say I wish more games took the route that Gen 4 did, where it's like when Infernape and Empoleon, when you get to those stages, close combat's fucking up that Empoleon, right? You can leave your Infernape in on the Empoleon because you're a fighting type and it's a steel type. You can leave your Torterra in on the Infernape because Earthquake, you're a ground type. Empoleon to Torterra is different because Torterra is still fucking Empoleon up with the Earthquake. They kind of fucked it up on that one. But in general, the idea there was that the Gen 4 almost does that to each other. I would like to see that just regardless. I'd like to see that more in Pokemon games. I would like to see the starters even out with their secondary typings. I feel like that's fun. But for the ones that you mentioned, I feel like my issue with Fire, Steel, Rock is that steel and rock are a bit too closely related for that one to work for me. But like you said,
in terms of visual,
but like you said, like for a setting thing, like I feel like that'd be perfect.
I think they feed it to a setting super well.
Well, that's the thing is if you're in like you said, a more industrial age kind of Pokemon game, like if this shit takes place in like the 1840s or whatever, perfect. And then what was it? Grass, poison, ground. You said or
ground, ground, poison, grass.
I like that one a lot, but I do think the rock flying fighting is probably my favorite of the bunch. One, because it doesn't feature any of the original 3 typings, so it's completely different. But also, I feel like I don't know. When was the last time you really ran through the game with like you? Well, what was that face?
Me run through a game?
Well, when was the last time you ran through a game and you got really excited about like a rock type Pokemon in your party? You know what I mean?
I am actually, anytime I have played Pokemon, I usually do have a rock in there. I do really like the rock type.
Yeah, but I mean, the last time you got really excited about a rock, like I mean, I don't know, maybe this is a personal. Like for me, it would have had to have been.
I think this is a personal thing.
Yeah, I guess maybe Gen 7 was the last time I got like really excited about a rock type Pokemon, and that was the dog.
The dog. I did like that dog. Lycanroc.
Lycanroc, yeah. Especially the intermittent form. What's that one called? Because there's midday and there's midnight, but what was the other one? It was like eclipse form or some bullshit. Or
did they ever eventually do dusk and dawn?
What do you mean?
Like forms.
For the Lycanroc, yeah, they had like 3 forms because in Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon they introduced a 3rd form or a 3rd evolution. Because what do you call it? In Pokemon Sun you get the midday form. In Pokemon Moon you got the midnight form. But in Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon there was another one you could get. I don't remember what it was called.
Yeah.
But it looked cool. Like I liked it. It was like orange and shit. That was like the last time I got really excited about a rock type Pokemon in my party was like the Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, Lycanroc. And then I guess in Gen 8 the coal Pokemon, the Rock and Fire, like I kind of fucked with.
Yes, I liked him too. I had him in my party, I think, for a little bit.
But I mean, I didn't like those games enough to really get excited about anything.
you just didn't like the game.
Such a boring fucking game. Oh my god. And then, hang on. But I mean, also like fighting types. I always have a lot of fun with both fighting and flying types.
Yeah.
Like generally speaking, I've always been a pretty big proponent of like the regional bird. You know what I mean? Like I am a certified Staraptor enjoyer. I am a certified Corviknight enthusiast. You know, I even I dabble in a little bit of Tranquil every now and then. To be honest with you, Pidgeot, you know, goes kind of hard. Goes really hard, actually. In fact, I have a Pidgeotto in our Nuzlocke, and I love it.
So do I.
Too. And we both have.
Yeah, we're both rocking them.
And you know they're great. Like I've always been a regional bird guy, and I've always liked using flying types in general. I usually like having one in my party. It's just fun. I don't know what it is for me. And then fighting types, like I don't know. Like when was the last time you saw a fighting type that couldn't fuck shit up offensively? You know, I don't know.
If you want, I can run through the imperfect ones where they're all super effective against each other, but they're not always resisting the one before them.
Yeah, like I'm sure there's like a dragon, fairy, something else in there somewhere, and I feel like that would go insane.
I don't see that.
Oh, I don't know.
I see. We have bug, grass, rock. Dark, psychic, fighting.
Okay.
Electric, water, ground.
Yeah.
Fairy, fighting, steel.
Fairy fighting steel would go hard.
I think I think I saw this one with like the idea of like if they went more traditional RPG, you would have like the fairy for like the mage, the fighting for like your
fighter.
Yeah, and then the steel for like either like a knight or paladin.
Okay.
Concept, which I kind of fuck with.
Okay, that's like the D&D trio there. Then.
Yeah.
Okay, I fuck with that a lot actually.
I do fuck with that idea as well.
Baldur's Gate 3 Game of the Year. Triangle.
Fighting, ice, flying.
Fighting,
We have
ice,
fire, grass, ground.
Fire, grass, ground. That's too similar to the base.
Yeah.
Version,
As well as fire, grass, rock.
Yeah.
And then fire, ice, ground.
Excuse me.
Flying, grass, rock. Ground, rock, ice. Ground, steel, ice. And then ice, grass, rock.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I would like see because I just with Pokemon and how big it is, I think we could be getting. I think I've mentioned this because I've had this idea since Legends Arceus, and I talked about it because I made a video about it.
Yeah.
But I felt like we could be getting a game like this cycle of Pokemon. We get like a mainline game, a Legends game, a remake, and then a wild card one where you have that's where like the stadiums, Pokemon parks, Pokemon Snap, like whatever wild card one would come out, and you just have like a 4-year cycle of just getting Pokemon. And I think Legends is what I feel like Legends opens itself up to do more experimental things like this.
Idea.
Yes.
Pokemon game that gives you 3 dragon type starters that all evolve to have second typings that give you a triangle. My example here,
dude, I have the inverse of what you just said in front of me right now.
Salamence, the dude with the scales, Gen 7, he's a fighting type. And then the ice type from Scarlet and Violet, whose name's escaping me right now. That's ice, flying, fighting. It's an imperfect triangle, but it's a triangle nonetheless.
I pulled up somebody's video, Pin Paladin. He has like a short when he talks about what Legends Unova would look like, and he threw out the idea of the starters all still being grass, water, fire, but also having each one having dragon as the second typing, and he threw out what the 3 starters would be.
Okay.
Let me see if it says the names clearly.
It would have to be either like Superior or Sceptile, I would imagine.
We see
a dragon type in there.
Dreepy. I think some of the things based on their maybe changing the typing for their
for the already existing dragon types. Okay.
Yeah.
So would Dreepy become a fire type in this instance?
I think okay, because I think one of the Pokedex entries says Dreepies are reborn ghosts of a prehistoric species that once lived in ancient seas. Okay, so I think he's having this one as the water. Okay, and then what the fuck is this guy's name? I don't know the name off the top of my head.
That's the Scale brother I was just telling you about.
Yeah.
Dude with the
but him is the fire type, and he gives reasons. Let's see.
Komo-o,
according to legend, here's the full name one. Komo-o's glittering scales are meant to drive away a great darkness. I guess that's why he has fire for
fire. Yeah, bright,
excelling.
Burns away.
Yeah. And then it is said that for the grass would be Hydreigon. Hydreigon. Yeah. It said that Hydreigon grew ferocious because people in times long past loathed it, considering it to be evil incarnate and attacking it relentlessly.
Its heads can be like vines.
Yeah. This is kind of how the look he's got for it.
Yeah. Isn't that just the shiny? Isn't that just the shiny? Hydreigon?
It might be.
Pretty sure shiny Hydreigon's green.
Oh, I think it is, but it's not quite like that.
Okay, I feel like the design would have to like you can have like vines like sprouting the other 2 heads. So I feel like that would make sense.
Yeah.
In terms of changing the physical, I fuck with that concept a lot though.
So the 2 videos I saw kind of inspired this conversation. I like that idea a lot for like Legends Unova.
Yeah.
Which is that like a rumor? Is that going to be one? Because I saw other stuff talking about what this game could look like.
I had no idea that was a thing that had been talked about, but I would love, as somebody who like Gen 5 is my favorite gen, like I would play the shit out of Legends Unova.
Well, yeah, because he also shows.
Oh, wait a minute, hang on. Wasn't
before it split? Like we would see it.
I was just gonna say like the original Dragon was Kyurem, Reshiram, and Zekrom. We've only ever seen Kyurem at half power with one or the other. So this game would probably feature the true like dragon type Pokemon, if you know, would be all three of them slapped together.
But yeah, I mean, this might just be his idea. I don't know whether if this is based on rumors or what, but just wanted to bring it up, have some Pokemon talk since we've been playing a lot of Pokemon.
This was good shit. It's fun. What's your favorite like type triangle if you had to pick one for a new game?
I mean, I guess I would do Fighting Rock Flying just because it's the only perfect triangle that doesn't have one of the original like the main 3 typings.
I think my second choice would be the Grass Ground Poison.
Yeah, I mean, I like all the perfect ones, and then for the imperfect ones, like I said, Fairy Fighting Steel, because I think what it could play into. I'm trying to think what else could like complement each other very well. I mean, I guess Dark Psychic Fighting for another imperfect one could build together pretty well. I like Fire Steel Rock. If I had to pick one of the other perfect ones that has one of the main 3, that would be the one I'd pick because I think conceptually it could help build with a world better.
Yeah,
I mean, I think if you're creative enough, all of these could. But that one, it easily lends itself to something like it's more easy than the other ones. But yeah. Those ones, but I would like to see some more explorations with the typings. And like I said earlier, I would love to see, because what could happen, the most realistic thing would be taking the Fighting Rock Flying and just attaching it to like final forms of like the main starters that are still, fire, grass, water.
Yeah.
But like I said, what I would want is a flip of the triangle.
Fair enough.
Evening out the playing field.
I agree.
But yeah,
I think generally speaking, I want to see that more often, even in the mainline Pokemon games. I want the secondary typings to start like countering each other, or like
that would be fun.
The primary to like give me something like that.
Yeah, and you could flip the imperfect because the imperfect typings could work better for that. That's where they could come into play maybe a little bit more.
What do you call it? Because Gen 6 did the opposite. Remember? Because Gen 6 gave you like Delphox was a psychic type. And then Greninja was a dark type. So your secondary typing is even less effective against Greninja than your primary is. And then Chestnut is a fighting type. You can't do shit against Delphox with that, but you can fuck up Greninja even more. You know what I mean? So like
so they did do the, as you were saying, they did do the opposite.
They did the opposite with Gen 6, which I hate.
Doubling up the effectiveness.
In general, Gen 6 is such a frustrating game because it could have been so much better. Everything about Gen 6 could have been so much better.
I feel like that's how everyone talks about Pokemon now.
Because that's a lot of what Pokemon is. It's just missed potential. It's tragic.
Gosh, they need the Zelda studio needs to, because Zelda used to be very steeped in formula, which I still like formula. I enjoy seeing different interpretations of the same base idea. But Zelda, kind of gave up the typical formula, really imagined what it could be, what Zelda could be. They need to walk over to the Game Freak studios and be like, "Hey guys, you guys need to be better.
Well,
this is the number one franchise in the world."
Legends Arceus is like the blueprint for like even then it's a very skeletal game in terms of like the mechanics. But if
mechanics, the arts,
if they built off at least the mechanics of Legends Arceus and started implementing that into the main series, we'd be having a lot more fun, I feel.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like they tried to implement some tiny things, but it's all like sectioned off.
Violet, they try, but also give us a real open world experience, like because in the Pokemon world, gym leaders adjust their team based on what badge number it is for the trainer.
Yeah, as shown in Pokemon Origins.
So when I show up to the Ice type gym with no badges, why am I fighting a level 47? Can somebody explain this to me? You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't make it like, the game's open world. You can tackle it in whatever order you want to, except you're going to get fucked if you go out of order, if you deviate too far from the norm. It doesn't make any sense. Makes no sense.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, Legends is the step in the right direction, and I just want more Legends games.
I agree.
I hope it, I mean, right now. Yeah. But I think we can call it with the Pokemon talk. We've got plenty of time to talk Pokemon.
Yep.
Tomorrow for us, today for people watching this.
At the time that this episode comes out, we'll be streaming
But yeah, you guys check out the Pokemon streams, man. They are a lot of fun. In all honesty, they're a lot of fun. Great times. We're gonna be fighting Lieutenant Surge.
Yes, we are both posted up. I would imagine you're posted up right next to him.
I am directly next to him.
Okay,
I saved directly on him.
That's where I saved as well. So we're both posted up next to Lieutenant Surge. We're both gonna fuck him up. With our Nido Kings, I would imagine.
He's so fucked.
That's the easy work. Is just throw in the Nido King. Don't get electrocuted.
But check it out.
My Charmeleon nose dig. I might let bro have a turn.
Might as well.
Yeah.
Give him some XP.
Yeah. Harbaugh, the Charmeleon. Shout out Harbaugh. But top 3. Is it top 3 time? I think it's top 3 time.
Yeah. Top 3 of the week. Christmas presents we want this year.
The wish list.
The wish list. This is a tough one. I'm not gonna rank them, so I'm just gonna do 3, 3, 2, 2, 1, 1, just on what I can think of at the moment. Do you want to go? It's I go first because it's in your.
You're my guest. You go first, my friend.
My number 3 would probably be Mario Wonder. I would like to play it. Simple as that. I need a video game to be playing right now, just on my own time.
Yeah.
Like I haven't been playing like a video game on my own time recently, just because it's like nothing for me to play right now.
I'd like the Scarlet and Violet DLC if it wasn't more than half the price of the base game. Why the fuck is it $35? Are you kidding me?
Gosh.
Yeah. My number 3. I'm cheating a little bit because this is something I know I'm getting, because it's not something I asked for. It's something my mom called me and asked if I wanted, and that is an IKEA gift card. I fucks with IKEA. I love IKEA.
Yeah.
I did all my shopping for dishes and shit when I moved out at IKEA.
Never been.
It's a lot of fun. So I still need a dining room table. Granted, I will probably buy that off of Facebook Marketplace because they're expensive at IKEA. So I'd rather buy one secondhand, clean it, and then just rock out with it from there. Because you can get them $50 to $100 on Facebook Marketplace, no problem. There's always people selling shit. So I might just buy some more dishes. My girlfriend's gonna be moving in eventually. I do need more dishes because there's gonna be 2 people here, not just myself. So, but yeah, that's my number 3. My IKEA gift card that I know I'm getting. I'm excited about it because I like shopping at IKEA. It's like shopping for stuff from my place. Like I want to buy decorations too. Probably it's just fun.
Okay, and then my number 2. Trying to think what I even asked for on my list. Dumbbells, and I'm pretty much certain I'm getting this because the way I talked to my grandparents about it, and the questions they were asking. So I'm fairly certain I'm getting this, but just some more dumbbells because my dumbbells right now it goes up to 25 and then skips all the way to 50. Yeah. So I need to fill in some of those in between weights.
Gotcha.
So 30-pound dumbbells are probably the number one thing I want.
Yeah.
In all honesty.
I hear you.
Trying to get swole, be big boy. Yeah, I've been moving some pretty good weight. I've been feeling good about being consistent in the gym, moving some good weight.
You've been putting that work.
Because I stopped cutting, so now that I'm bulking and eating fully properly, the weight's moving again.
Gabe has also started bulking season.
Yeah, dude, I told him when I saw him to start bulking because he had gotten real skinny, and I was like, Gabe, you look great.
He looks really good.
I was like, you look great, dude. You can start.
It's time.
It's time. It's time, buddy.
It's time.
Start putting on some muscle.
Yeah.
But he looked great. I was like, that's literally the first thing when I saw him in person. I was like, God, I literally went, damn, Gabe, you look great.
I saw the pictures he posted of him, of him recently. I'm like, yeah, he looks really fucking good.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
It's been great.
Good. Bro looks good. So yeah.
Bro looks great.
Go ahead and start bulking season, Peter.
Yeah, and I also told him, I was like, holidays is the perfect time to bulk.
Yeah. Because you're gonna be eating. Your ass gonna be eating. It just is what it is. It's how it goes. So you may as well put on some healthy weight while you're at it. So go ahead. It's bulking season.
Season.
Peter. Bulking season.
Bulk.
So
yeah.
Number 2. This is something I asked for that I'm also pretty sure I'm getting because my mom was like, Like, what's the one thing you really want for Christmas? I'm like, I don't really want anything. She's like, well, if there's something. And I said, an air fryer. Clearly,
Ooh.
you don't own an air fryer. And I don't want to be like that anymore, right? Like, I don't want Walter White to come to me in my dreams and go, clearly, you don't own an air fryer. I don't want to be snuck up on like that. I can't.
I got an air fryer.
See, I gotta catch up. I can't be the
Shit's
only.
nice.
I can't be the only podcast host without an air fryer. So, air fryer for Christmas. Let's go.
Air fryer.
Air motherfucking fryer. What about you, good sir? You're number one. You're fine.
This is tough. I feel like I'm going in like reverse order almost. I'm just going out of order because weights are the thing I want the most.
Mm-hmm.
What else do I want for Christmas? Oh, I forgot I had this in my mind and then I forgot and I just remembered. Just a new sports jersey, whether it be a Cowboys or a Mavs jersey. Those would be the two I want the most.
Do you have a Hookah Doncic jersey? Dude?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. I don't know what I'm talking about.
I've got Luka. I've got Dirk, and you know what else I have?
Who?
I have Porzingis.
I do remember you have the Porzingis. Oh,
when we traded him, I posted that post and I was like, "Fuck."
Oh, brother.
But it ended up working out. We went to the Western Conference Final that year. And also when I was unable to get into my account, you remember this saga of me not being able to get into Instagram. I genuinely, if we didn't trade Porzingis, I wouldn't have been able to get back my account because it was the only pictures I had of me were the two posts where I talk about the Porzingis trade, me holding the jersey.
That's
so
right.
if we didn't trade Porzingis, I wouldn't have gotten my Instagram account back.
Good shit.
So funny how life works. But yeah, I think the jerseys I'd want the most. I would love a Kyrie jersey.
Yep.
Derek Lively now, but that one I know I won't get that one because I definitely don't think I asked for it when I made my list. But he 100% because I make my list in October because my mom just makes me make I just make one for birthday then Christmas. But those two for the Mavs and then for the Cowboys it would be Parsons would be the number one jersey I'd want and then CeeDee Lamb would probably be the other one. But yeah, that's the thing. That's my final for the Christmas wish list.
Funniest chat screenshot of all time, and the 3-man chat with you, me, and Gabe. Well, technically it's a 5-man because Joe Burrow and Justin Herbert are in there, but they never talk. So
yeah, come on, guys, get involved.
Fuck. I mean, I understand why Justin Herbert don't fuck with us. The things you and I have said about him, but Joe Burrow should absolutely be fucking with, especially he got nothing better to do.
Well, no, Gabe scares him off, probably.
You know what? Yeah, you're right. So, but I get why Herbert don't fuck with us. I understand.
Yeah,
I will never blame Herbert for not talking in there.
Even though we still like Herbert, but it's just let's not get too much. We've talked about it before, but
I mean,
we still like Herbert.
I certainly no longer feel that Trevor Lawrence is better than Justin Herbert. I may have gone a little too far. That is definitely not the case at this point.
I'm not sold. I saw them in a playoff game, and I saw who came out on top.
I also saw who threw 4 interceptions in that game, to be fair.
And had the dog in him to bounce back.
Well, that was last year. He didn't have that dog in him this year. He did not show that dog in any. But anyways,
don't let the Jags sneak in the playoffs. You remember I had him upsetting the Chiefs.
I think Joe Flacco is going to storm into Kansas City and upset the Chiefs.
We'll see how the seeding ends up.
I think the funniest screenshot we had ever was the guy who hacked your account. I don't remember what he said. And you were just like, "You motherfucker" on your other account. Oh my goodness.
That's right. You motherfucker.
And then I think the next message was me kicking the hacker out of the chat. Yeah. The screenshot was him like, I don't remember. He was like trying to sell something or whatever. It was motherfucker, and then Dallas Benchwarmer has been removed from the chat. All time moment for us. But you stood on business.
That shit was so funny. And then I was able to post I was able to post a mirror selfie when I got the account back, and was like, "I'm back." And then somebody who I didn't even really know like slid up and comments like, "I knew that wasn't you."
Because
I guess
Oh, sorry.
Sorry.
Go ahead. No, go
I
ahead.
guess the account was also making story posts, trying to.
Oh yeah, it was. I
Yeah.
remember. My number one. So you can't see it right now because it's dark outside.
It's pitch black.
Your boy's got a vinyl collection back there.
Actually, your number one should be like a light.
Yeah, it should be some fucking. Maybe I'll get that for myself because I'm getting like 3 paychecks either next month or the month after. I'll invest in a little podcast help here in the near future. But so I got a vinyl collection over there, and I haven't added a new one in a minute. Actually, hang on a second. What's today? The 19th. The Jane Remover vinyl should be coming in any day now. Let me check my email right now. Let me see when the Jane Remover vinyl is supposed to get here because it's supposed to be soon. I think it was the 18th is when it was supposed to arrive, but it's not at my door, so maybe it's in my mailbox.
While you look that up, as a side note, I haven't gotten a new Power Ranger in a while. I would also like to add to my collection.
But anyways, the Jane Remover vinyl is not what I was. Order confirmation. The order is confirmed. Oh, December 22nd is when I'm getting the Jane Remover vinyl. Okay, we are 3 days out from me getting my Jane Remover vinyl. But what I asked my mother for, I said the only thing I asked her for besides the air fryer. Excuse me. This is somebody I've mentioned before on the podcast. I asked for Either Or by Elliott Smith. Is the album I have requested. So I would really like. It's one of my favorite albums ever. I love it. It's beautiful. I want it over here. So we'll see. We'll see if I get it. But yeah, that's my number one. Very excited about that. Hopefully, but either way, I am adding a vinyl to my collection this season because Jane Remover gets here in 3 days, at or around 3 days. Hell yeah!
Nice. Then I guess we can get on to what we've been on.
What you been on, sir?
I have been on Pokemon.
Yes, sir. Pokemon.
We've been on that together.
Shout out.
Shout out. I don't think we had any deaths last stream.
No. In fact, my run of bad luck is over. For now. We'll see. We got ourselves some fishing rods. So I went and caught this little Magikarp. In fact, so did Brayden. But he has his Woitoidle, so he doesn't need.
Yeah,
he doesn't need.
He's sitting in a PC.
Right. Your boy has a Gyarados now on his team, so the desperately needed infusion of youth on my roster has been added.
Oh, bro, that's the Mavs. This last off season.
I let Magikarp sit for his rookie season. He's now evolved in the off season. He is now officially a Gyarados. He's going to have to ride the bench for this match against Lieutenant Surge because everything he uses is quite effective. I will lose that Gyarados as soon as I got it, if I even think about playing him against Lieutenant Surge. So he'll be on the bench. Maybe I'll switch train him, but that's still, I don't know. Because what do you call it? I can bait the Thunderbolt and just switch in an Nidoking, eat it, and then, whatever. He gets XP out of it. Because he's only level 20. He needs to get caught up still. But,
yeah,
off topic a little bit there. I got a Gyarados now, and long term, hopefully he could be a building block for us on the team. His name is LeBron as well. My cohort over here named him LeBron because we name each other's Pokemon each time we catch one. So
yeah,
his name is LeBron.
So he's flopping because I was trying to think like what works as like flopping like a fish, but it still works as something
powerhouse.
Yeah.
And I named his Magikarp R.I.P. because if his War Turtle ever dies, he's gonna go to the Magikarp and he's gonna have to be reminded that he let his starter die. So,
which will never happen, man.
No, it won't. But if it does, you're gonna have to have a reminder every time you send out your new water type. So,
but still, speaking of Pokemon, I didn't remember because I asked you where Gabe was, our rival, and you told me. But I think you said the stairs leading to. So in my head,
did you not fight him?
I did.
Okay.
I wasn't ready.
Oh yeah, he caught me off guard for sure.
Yeah, so he still caught me off guard. But nothing bad happened because my fucking Beedrill just wipes his team.
Oh my god.
Like once I got rid of the Pidgeot, I just threw in Beedrill and it was like one hit, he like one twin needled his Ivysaur and his Kadabra.
Yeah.
And then I forgot what else. I think he had Eradicate, and I was just like, well, this was easy as fuck.
Yeah.
I freaked out. I was like,
the Pidgeotto.
Yeah, I freaked out because I was like, oh, fuck. I'm fucked. I'm probably going to lose a Pokemon here. Absolutely not.
Yeah. Like, that fight's barely in. Like, what do you call it? Like, there's 2 rival fights, one after the other. It's barely a change in the second fight. Like, his Rattata evolved and he has a Kadabra now. That's pretty much it. Oh, and he has a War Turtle now instead of a Squirtle. And for you, it's an Ivysaur instead of a...
Yeah. I mean, he had some evolutions go down, so...
Yeah. Good for him, but in terms of level, like, I think his Pidgeotto is level 18 in both fights. And that's what he leads with in both fights, level 18 Pidgeotto. Like, no difference there.
Yeah.
And then... But yeah, Bro's got a Kadabra, so good for him. Oh, he had an Abra in the first fight. And it was like just trying to teleport. He can't do that, though. So... Either way, yeah, we another rival battle down the gullet. We're about to get a 3rd gym badge when we stream. It's gonna be fun. I don't anticipate either of us really struggling in that fight because we have a ground type, and so Nidoking should be able to just run through.
Yeah, and then I also have Oddish, so we got a grass type. I have a grass type as well.
Yeah, so we should be all right.
Slight work.
You don't gotta flex that Oddish, man. We can't all not kill our.
I'll tell you right now, he's not gonna be final team. I was looking at the moves he learns by leveling at least.
Yeah. Wait, didn't you evolve him? He's a Gloom now, isn't he?
Yeah. He is a Gloom. You're right. He is a Gloom. I have a Gloom.
Yeah, he evolved on stream while I was still streaming because you remember it happened.
It was like the last thing that happened before you left.
Right before I left, you evolved into Gloom.
I told you, I was like, wait.
Right as I got my Gyarados, you got your Gloom.
Yeah.
But you don't think he's gonna be final team?
I was just looking at because I was looking at his movesets because I was like, what the fuck, dude is not learning any useful grass moves. And he really doesn't learn any useful grass moves.
Shit.
I was like, you might not be final team, big dog.
Well, maybe you can give him some TMs.
Yeah, I'll be keeping an eye out on TMs. As soon as a useful grass one comes into my possession.
TMs in Gen 1 are very useful because a lot of Pokemon just don't get much on level up. King's a prime example. Like, if we had waited for like Nidorino to get some decent, it would have been like level 50 that we finally we get to the Elite Four and you finally evolve your Nidorino. Like, not gonna work. So
that's like an anime type shit where it's like final battle. He finally reaches his final form when we need him most. But yeah, what else I've been on? So I've been reading, and I'm almost done. I have to finish like today or tomorrow because it comes out tomorrow. But I've been reading Percy Jackson: The Lightning Thief.
I read it tomorrow.
Yeah, I read it when I was a kid. But it's been a while, so I reread it in preparation for the show. The book is great. This is like the first book series, maybe the only book series I ever really liked. Loved it.
Did you read
really
the Heroes of Olympus or no?
Yes.
Okay. Did you read?
I read that
other Riordan series like the Kane Chronicles?
I read Kane Chronicles as well.
Okay, there was like the Trials of Apollo as well, which is in universe as well.
I own the first book. I never read it though.
I read the first book. I never read the second or I think there's 3. I never read the second or third. And there was the Magnus Chase books. I think I read. I don't know how many of them there were. I don't know that I ever finished. I think I read like 3 of those.
Yeah, I think he has I think he has another in Percy Jackson universe series going on right now.
He has another. Like the last book. I think the last Percy Jackson book is coming out. Or I don't know if it's out already, or if it. I don't remember. But it's like it's a Percy Jackson and the Olympians book. It's like the 6th book in that series, but it takes place after the events of the Heroes of Olympus, I believe.
Yeah. But yeah, I did that. I've been watching Christmas movies, obviously.
Of course, keeping the marathon going.
Today starts the Grinch run. So today I watched the 60s cartoon. Then tomorrow I watched the Illumination 2018 Benedict Cumberbatch one. Yep. And then on Thursday, when my sister comes to town, we're watching Jim Carrey's Grinch. Yeah. So Grinch run coming up, but I just saw yesterday I watched Alien Xmas, a really cute Christmas stop motion film on Netflix. That's great. I'm blanking on what I've seen. But yeah, just been in the Christmas spirit, watching Christmas movies, one a day, drinking hot chocolate, living life.
Fuck yeah.
I think that's all I've been on. A lot of Christmas movies, reading a little book, playing Pokemon.
Gotcha.
What about you?
I'm almost done with Stranger Things. I got 2 episodes left, so I've been busting that shit out.
For the whole series?
Yeah, I got the last 2 episodes of season 4. Now, granted, one of them's an hour and 40 minutes, the other one's 2 hours 20 minutes. So,
damn,
long ass episode. Because the one I watched the second,
movies.
The third to last one last night. And that was an hour and 20. So yeah, the next 2 episodes are 4 hours long in total. So I've got 4 hours left.
I did not know that. Holy shit!
They're long as fuck. But season 4, probably not my favorite season because I do think season 1 is like one of the best seasons of television I've ever watched. But it's definitely better than 2 and 3 for me. And I like 2 and 3, but there is like a clear like noticeable drop in quality from like 1 to 2 to 3. 4 picks it back up, I believe. I think 4 takes everything I liked about 2 and 3 and also gives you a lot of the shit that was great about season 1. Because season 3 for me didn't even really feel like Stranger Things. Season 3 felt very different tonally from what
it felt like a bit peculiar, in it?
In it, yeah, except not British with Russians, which the Russians don't necessarily make it feel well. Yeah. Excuse me, kind of, but like the mystery aspect is gone by season 3. Season 2 had it still. Season 1, that's what it was. The show itself was all mystery. Season 2 still had that element. Season 3 was gone. It was gone completely. They knew right away who the villain was. And the whole thing was about stopping them. But they knew right away what was going on. So it just became, about stakes, which is it was still a good story, but it just did not really feel like what Stranger Things had become tonally, or what it had set out to be. It felt different. Season 4 gets back to base a little bit, while still keeping some of that interesting, like, shit that was going on in season 3. It keeps a lot of that momentum, but then it gets back to what the show is at its core, which it is a mystery, and the mystery does not get revealed until episode 7, and I've still got 8 and 9 to watch. So, excited.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah. So I now know who Vecna is and his backstory. I know his lore. I know Vecna's lore.
Vecna-see.
I've been listening to music as I always do. Today,
Shocking.
I re-listened to "Let's Start Here" by Lil Yachty.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're familiar with this one, so I can actually now talk about an album that Brayden has heard before.
Whoa!
Let's fucking go. In fact, this briefly came up. What were you doing with your teeth just now?
Playing with this.
Okay, because it looked like you were.
Yeah,
looked like you were from Tennessee for a second there.
Hey, buddy.
So, we mentioned it on last week's podcast, and then because I think Gabe brought it up, and you're like, "Oh, I've heard that one," and I'm like, "No fucking way, Brayden's heard an album."
Yeah.
So, I thought, okay, I'm gonna listen to it again so I can get like a real like proper place for it, because it's the only one of the albums that came out early in the year that I forgot to come back to. I have no idea why, because I fucking love it. And like today might have even been the most enjoyment I've ever gotten out of it, and that's saying a lot because I've listened to this album quite a few times. It's one of my most played albums of the year, and just listen to it again this year.
One of the songs has the Bob Ross ending.
Yes, I remember.
I love that quote so much.
Like, you're spending all this time worrying about starting this painting. You could have finished the painting by now, man.
Yeah,
just let go. And like
all the time you spend worrying about starting a painting or planning a painting.
You could have painted one already.
Could have painted one.
Such a.
I was like, oh fuck. That's how I am with videos sometimes.
I forgot how much the song "Pretty" makes me feel myself. You know what
I
mean? Like,
yeah.
I listen to "Pretty" and I'm like, she's got to get my nails done. You know what I mean? She's got to pay for my hair and nails. She's got to take me out. I could be the passenger princess. I could be the little spoon when I listen to "Pretty."
I mean, I could be the little spoon. Period.
You know what I mean? Like when I hear that, that's gonna sound heavenly. By the way, I'm like, that's not gonna sound terrible. What time? 1:48:32. I gotta run this shit back when I'm editing this tomorrow, so I can listen to myself attempt to hit the notes. But God, I just love that album. So I was listening to "Out of Time," which is a song that I hadn't particularly enjoyed up to this point, but then listening to it again, when I can really hear the Magdalena Bay production. Because I mentioned last week that Magdalena Bay produced that song, and you can really hear it in the way the bass sounds. It sounds like unmistakably like Magdalena Bay, and I don't know. I love this is probably the most enjoyment I've gotten out of that song in this time, and I still think like I've talked about how album openers and album closers to me like really make or break an album sometimes, just because like this is your introduction to this experience you're walking me through, and then this is the ending of this is how you're wrapping it all up. So for me, that
Final
weighs
taste.
that weighs a little more on me than like a most deep cuts will. Not that I don't appreciate deep cuts. I love deep cuts. I'm a deep cut enthusiast, but like openers and closers to me, like if your album is going to be fantastic, like your opener needs to pull me in and your closer needs to leave me satisfied while wanting more at the same time. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
Black Seminole, one of the best album openers of the year.
Oh,
Phenomenal.
yes.
The way that it's just it's so watery when it starts, like, and it's like, oh, that sounds fantastic. A sex symbol, Black Seminole, and it's like, it just sounds fantastic. And then the closer, the way the drums go in on Reach the Sunshine, where it's like, you know what I mean? Like, shit just goes so hard. I'm gonna have so much fun talking about this when I actually get to my top.
It's like, bro, you've given away everything you need to talk about. Like when you make the video.
Away the placement, but it's it's gonna be somewhere.
I'm pretty sure you've said top. I feel like you've said top 20.
I was gonna say I think top 20 is probably what I said, and I feel like I reaffirmed that stance today. I love it. Excuse me. I had so much fun today listening to this again because it's just like, even after the novelty wears off of holy shit, Lil Yachty just made a psychedelic rock album. Even after you ignore the fact that it's Lil Yachty going completely out of his comfort zone, it just sounds awesome. It just sounds really fucking good. So I had a lot of fun with that. Listened to what else did I listen to today? I listened to some other. Oh, I listened to Spiderland by Slint again. It's the album I really like. It's one I want on vinyl eventually. And then I listened to Black Country New Road's debut again. I forget what it's called, but the reason I listened to those back to back is because Black Country New Road was heavily inspired by Slint, especially on their first album. Their second album, not necessarily as much, but on their first album, it was very clearly like you can listen to some songs from Spiderland and then listen to songs from their debut, and like you can like compare some of it like one next to the other, and you can clearly see like this is taken directly from it. Not that it isn't, it's got its own spin to it because it's a little more jazzy, but still you can very clearly hear that it's. And they even mentioned like being a Slint tribute act on one of the. I think it's Athens, France, maybe, or maybe it's a different song off the album, but like they're very clearly inspired by Slint. They don't try to hide it at all. But yeah, then after that, I listened to Let's Start Here Again, and yeah, it's phenomenal. Still phenomenal. I still love it. So
phenomenal.
That's what I've been on. Stranger Things, I've watched almost all of it in just the span of like a week. Here, it's been.
That's a lot of TV show.
Yeah, I've been thugging it out, man. It's easy to watch that much though. It's easy to consume because it's just that good. So it's not hard for me to sit down and watch, for several hours at a time because it's fantastic. Good television is easy to get lost in. I don't even watch shows like that, but really good shows. Yeah. I will. Like last night, it was like 11 o'clock, and I'm like, I can do one more episode. And then I saw that it was an hour and 20 minutes, and I'm like, yeah, I can still do one more episode. I'm like, I had to be up at 5 o'clock this morning.
Yeah,
I knew I was gonna be. I went to bed at like 2 a.m.
I'm gonna diss Gabe.
You're gonna diss Gabe
because Gabe says he can't do TV shows. Period.
I remember this. I do remember this.
And I'm like, what the dude? What the fuck? I could do a movie, but I can't do a show. Come on, man, you're sleeping. He's missing out on a lot of good media.
Mm-hmm. Hell yeah, he is. Like I said, I don't even really watch shows. I don't even be watching shows like that. I do like when a show is really good for sure, but shows have to be like fantastic, or else I'm just not gonna be bothered for the most part. But yeah, Stranger Things is really good, so it's easy for me to get sucked in.
Yeah. Anything else you've been on?
I don't think so. I haven't been listening to anything else. I haven't been. Just the standard stuff, same shit I'll always be listening to. David Bowie, Radiohead, whatever. The works. So.
It works.
It works. Yeah.
So then, are we calling it?
I think. Yeah, we probably could. I think this is about it. This is probably the longest non-game episode we've had in a while. Because obviously last week's was a bit longer because he was here, but we're almost at 2 hours now, and we haven't run up to 2 hours in a while. We're barely over.
Which I kind of like that we don't.
Oh,
I kind of like the
like today we just happened to because we had a little more to talk about maybe, but we're just free balling.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I think it's end of pod time.
It sure is. So thank you for joining us. Next week's episode is of course going to be on Brayden's channel. So check him out, and just check him out regardless, because he's got a lot of cool shit that gets a lot more views than when he posts the podcast. Quite frankly, they don't really be fucking with his podcast that much over there, but they do be fucking with the Wii Vaults. And
Wevault, the last one is sitting at the most recent Wevault is sitting at 180.
Hell yeah!
Second most viewed Wevault video.
So you're doing.
The first one is?
Is it The Force Unleashed?
Yes, dude. Star Wars Wevault videos have been going pretty well on the channel.
Yep.
So
Star Wars in general is a content form, man. Like Disney knows it. That's why they keep milking it the way that they are.
Yeah, I was like, I might need to be tapping in a little bit more here.
Yeah. So, especially The Force Unleashed, the nostalgia everybody has for that game, myself included. I mean, yeah. I still want to see Sam Witwer play Starkiller live action. The man has aged like fine wine. He could do it. Like, make it happen. But,
yeah.
Anywho, this is Close Up Brayden.
I'll look different next pod. I'm getting a haircut soon.
Close Up Jacob now.
I'm going to trim the beard soon.
I'm also going to be trimming the beard. In fact, I'm going to be shaving it. It's going to be gone again. It was gone a couple months ago. It's going to be gone again.
Wow.
And I'll be cleaning up the hair as well, so it'll be a little different. Probably.
This is the longest my hair's been in a long time.
The next video will be recorded on Boxing Day, which is the day after Christmas, and will be uploaded on the 27th. So,
correct.
Excuse me.
Post Christmas breakdown. Dirk Tales. It popped out.
Dirk Tales. All right. Peace out, y'all.
Adios.